guys, and welcome back. A brand new year of Talking Walking Dead as we go into the second half of season 3. The mid-season premiere was called The Suicide King. What'd you think of it, Joey?
I liked it for the most part. I mean, I had my issues with it, but I thought for a return episode from, what was it, 2 months about?
Yeah.
Since we saw a new episode, I thought it was a strong episode to come back with.
Yeah, you know, there was obviously a bunch of stuff to deal with here because we had the immediate aftermath with the Dixon brothers, and then we had what was going on in the prison with the new people. I thought that the stuff back at the prison actually was kind of the stronger stuff in this episode than what was happening in Woodbury.
Yeah, I will say I really enjoyed Tyrese and Sasha. I think they're great characters and they're off to a strong start. You know, we sort of got their background in one really simple speech from Tyrese, and I really took to them pretty quickly.
Yeah, me too. And now we're rooting for Rick to take to them, who's just kind of a dick and wouldn't even shake his hand. You know. But then back in Woodbury, once they rescued Merle and Daryl, I don't know, there was something. First of all, I know this is maybe like a little thing, but I was noticing a lot of bad extra work in this episode. I know it's hard to stand around a pit and go, yeah, fight.
Merle, yeah.
But they just weren't doing the best job at it.
Especially I was watching the episode with headphones on, and you can hear like all around all the
ADR.
And it's just like, come on, guys, this isn't a wrestling match. You should be terrified right now.
Right.
And also, I don't know what Merle's plan was really. Like they're fighting, and then there's that moment where it's like, just follow my lead, little brother. And okay, to what? Like, what was his end game there? And
there was theories, because there's theories that like Merle was still kind of deep undercover for the governor at that point. But then the fact that him and Daryl just kind of took off seems to say no, but maybe it's still true. Maybe he's going to say, hey, let's go back to them and try to convince them to go back to the prison.
It's weird because he's acting as though he knows that Rick and the group are about to come rescue them when he totally shouldn't.
No.
And so the whole thing doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, the scene was fun once the gunfire started. It was exciting. So.
Yeah, it was a fun rescue. After that, I don't know. I was saying how when the walkers got into the camp, it seemed like they were too calm. They're like, oh, walkers, and they killed them, but shouldn't they freak out and say, oh my gosh, walkers are in the camp, we got to find the breach? I know there was other stuff going on, but that would seem to be a priority at that point.
It's weird because like they made it a point like, oh, no walkers have ever gotten in here. So the first walkers ever, and they just killed them, and that's meh.
Yeah.
All right, we're done now.
And then they let that poor guy get killed down the road, you know? They just reacted more. And then Andrea, a difficult character in general.
Man.
I don't know. She's given an inspiring speech. Were you inspired?
I was not inspired. I was inspired to just walk away.
Right.
That's where my inspiration went. It was just not only her delivery, but just it was flat.
Yeah. It was just very trite. It was very, we have to rebuild not just the town, but our minds and our hearts and our friendship.
Yeah, it's like, Andrea, you're the last person I want to tell me these things.
Yeah.
So.
Unfortunately, so that stuff wasn't the best. The stuff outside of Woodbury, though, I liked a lot. I liked Glenn's stuff a lot. I actually thought it was a really good scene between him and Rick where he kind of had it out with him.
Yeah.
Very good performance in that scene. And, you and I were talking earlier about the fact that Carol we're having issues with Andrea Michonne. And based on the comic books, I would not see this coming, that right now I like Carol so much more than Andrea Michonne. But there were some good scenes with her.
I was really surprised with her reaction to Rick telling her that Daryl left, and also the scene that she has with Beth, which I thought was really sweet. And the little ass kicker post office box thing, which was nice.
Yeah.
But Michonne, she's still struggling along.
she won't talk. It's like when they just ask her the simplest question, like, oh, you knew Andrea? Won't give an answer.
Death stare instead.
Just the death stare. But yeah, I really liked with Carol. I even liked the fact that, look, Carl has lost his mom. She has lost her kid. That's a natural place for them to bond.
Yeah.
They had a nice scene together, but it didn't hit you over the head. Yeah. Later on with Beth, she did bring up her husband and her daughter, and I just thought it worked really well.
It was a nice portrayal of her progression as a character from where we saw her in season 1, as an abused wife and all that stuff, and how far she's come. What I did find weird, though, is speaking of that, she says a year ago, I don't know, I'm a different person than I was a year ago, but then also just the timeline thing when they mentioned that the baby's a week old.
Right.
It's just like, it's again that issue with Walking Dead where you forget how much time has passed or hasn't passed.
It's a little bit of a shifting time frame.
Yeah, it's very bizarre.
And then the end of the episode, I thought it kind of a fun turn in that Rick, he didn't get over his little bout of insanity, it turns out. He had the phone call episode. But I'm interested by that. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it coming, I guess. I thought they had moved past that already, so I'm glad that they didn't. But it's also, I don't want to see Tyrese and everyone ushered out so quickly. Obviously, I don't think we've seen the last of them.
Right.
But I would have liked to see some more direct sort of communication between those two characters.
Yeah, and I'm curious, I assume that's supposed to be Laurie he's seeing. You do get into just actor issues like that. Clearly wasn't Sarah Wayne Callie standing up there. So will she appear at all? We now had Rick, he also saw Shane when they were attacking Woodbury.
Yeah, that's true.
And now he's seeing a sort of ethereal Laurie that's not quite Laurie because we couldn't see her face. But, there's some interesting places to go there, and with the idea that the guy they've all been looking to has really lost it in the long term.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you think of this episode? Excited to have Walking Dead back. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next week, guys.